Evening all! ITSL organised by Baskmex. We're still opening 442, even though I have duck and cover. Yep. We've played Jimmy a couple of times before, but never when I've been getting comprehensively tanned so frequently, which is a glorious delight. So, now's a good time to headline Asia scoring, because I hold Vietnam Revolt's Decol and D-Style. I'm guaranteed to drop it for a single VP. And that way I can keep 3 cleaner ops in my hand, because I really only have 12 clean ops this turn, which is about average. So, need to get into Thailand first, need to try and maintain presence in the Middle East. I might get socialist governments couped out of Italy. But yeah, it's got to be Asia scoring here, so that's what I'm going to do. Just compile my card list, and let's see what he's just headlined as I click away. Captured Nazi, he's off to space. So he's got 3 VP in the bank already. So let's drop Captured Nazi as well. We'll plug in my hand. I got Decol and D-Star, which is nice, but obviously if I get blockaded, they're both leaving my hand. NORAD, duck and cover. Vietnam, Indo-Pac. Oof. Not nice. We'll take the opportunity to advance into Egypt, because he can't take both Italy and... So we will do that. Good thing I didn't get purged, because I would have lost even more. He may wish to coup Egypt and give me back Italy, and then take France with a 4-op card if he's ops rich. But I wasn't going to waste a 3-op card putting 2 in France and 1 in Egypt, so we'll see. Now finish taking Italy. We'll tap Italy and put 2 into Egypt to protect against NASA. Just keep the pressure up on Europe. Oh, he may drop Europe scoring. If he does, then, you know, I can always take Italy at least. Not really paying attention there. Plus ça change. Well, that's fairly comprehensive. So we're going to have to space decol. Yeah, so Europe scoring drops. Blimey, this is a rough start. Let's space decol. Get a point back that way. Let's see how this goes. Boy, I'm going to not coup, because I'm going to have to event Vietnam revolts. So, not a supremely good start, but at least I know that expansion won't be on his agenda. A Marshall Plan at least triggers NATO, which makes special relationship a lot more desirable. So he takes Iran, right, and overprotects Italy. Yeah, Iraq. Alright, we're going to take the coup, because we have access to Thailand as well. And he may opt to play into Thailand. So, NASA defeats Middle Eastern scoring, which is not ideal. So that's a little annoying. D-Style, Cambridge 5. Got Middle East scoring. East Europe. Special relationship. So what has he got that he might play? Socialist governments, de Gaulle, potentially blockade, but NASA is 50-50 that he's got NASA. If he does, I don't score it. But what else can I score? Eastern European unrest isn't ideal, I need the ops. Sod it. Curses. I've had a lot of sod it games recently, haven't I? So let's see if he takes the coup or takes Thailand. I'm going to have to coup with a 2-op card because blockade. Oh no, I've got D-Style to ditch to blockade. Duh. Then I may use Eastern European Unrest to coup if he doesn't. If he takes Thailand. And then I'll have to space Arab Israeli. Although I suppose it's in my interests if he plays. I've got to play Fidel first to make a DEFCON suicide risk. Because it's 50-50 he's holding CIA. He may be swithering about. Well, no, he's not. So he's going to take Thailand. Okay, so we are going to coup to make a DEFCON suicide risk. We don't get enough to make a dent in the Middle East. And we will start racing country count in the Middle East as well. I at least have access to Pakistan. Indo-Pakistani war is gone. But this is a far from ideal game start. He may be able to trigger Korean War to get his mill ops, but obviously he has to trigger it to get the mill ops, and if it fails, I can walk into South Korea. So that's advantageous. So ooh, he's ops rich, isn't he? So many ops. Okay, so he's at least implying. So we'll start by taking Egypt. Now NASA's gone. So he's only got US, Japan and NATO to collect the whole set. We'll see. I'll be looking to take Pakistan and then take some Southeast Asia states to level up. Well, that's a bummer. That'll probably be another one in South Korea. Or maybe Afghanistan to threaten Pakistan. So we'll pop 3 into Pakistan. So what are objectives? Try and avoid domination in the Middle East. Try and avoid domination in Asia. More or less accept the fact I will not be doing anything in Europe. If he can afford to do an intervention defectors, he's living the dream, isn't he? We'll start racing on country count. He knows I do not have a scoring card. If he triggers Korean War and fails, then I can put Arab-Israeli War into South Korea and hope just not to roll a 6. De Gaulle's still a major threat. Okay, so he chooses not to event it, but just to take it outright, which means I have to space Arab-Israeli War. At least my cosmonauts are working. So de Gaulle's a big risk. Three clean ops. And he goes for domination in the Middle East. We'll pop another one into the Philippines, mostly to avoid domination for now. And we at least get D-Style back in the pile. And he's holding CIA. So I've been dealt some decent ops now. De Gaulle's obviously a big risk. He's got blockade and de Gaulle. I don't have any way of dropping DEFCON, which is annoying. He's got US Japan as well, right? Yeah. So what are my Riyads? Arab Israeli Independent Reds, Eastern Europe. Containment looks pretty good here, because I'll be gaining more than 5 clean ops. And I might well get de Gaulle. So let's headline containment. What's the alternative? Formosa and try and get domination in Asia? Formosa is the alternative. But then he can just put the China card into Japan and space Asia Pacific. So we're going to headline containment. Europe scoring again. At least I don't need to worry about it until turn 7, if I get a turn 7. He's letting me have the coup, because he also held 5-year plan. So now that's out the deck too. What else has he got? NORAD and special relationship. Not a bad wee coup, at least. So I'll space Arab-Israeli war and hope to space socialist governments. I am contained. I completely forgot that. So let's economize on my ops. We'll threaten the Middle East first. He's not to know that I don't have any of those things. And despite containment, I guess I want to space Arab-Israeli and socialist governments is a threat. Let's see how it pans out. My trick here will be staying below or as low to the threshold as possible. Avoid losing on VP. Hold D-style for as long as possible to make sure he can't expand without junta. Get into Africa before D-Col comes back out. Weather the storm. The alternative is play Arab-Israeli, waive the 2 points for Milops, but solidify Israel and then have a space with socialist governments and socialist governments alone. Let's see what he does with de Gaulle. Make some threatening movements. I will do likewise. If he pushes into Burma, I'll obviously take India. If he gives me US, Japan, which he's unlikely to do, I guess, at 3, right? It would be mad too. We'll put one in Canada because obviously we know he's got NORAD. He may choose to use blockade to force out D-style just so he can salt it later. King may 5-year plan blockade to keep it in the deck and have 3 clean ops. But at least I'm making NORAD unpalatable by putting it in Canada. He's got a lot of cards he doesn't really like. He's either going to have to use the China card or space some of them. So I think he's just deciding how best to manage his hand, given the circumstances. Yeah, using the China card's probably not a bad shout. So he's going to space. So he's used the China card. He's going to space US Japan or hold it, and then use NORAD and blockade. I suppose the problem is for him is that he then has to event NORAD as an alternative. But I now cannot do anything about Asia. And if I'm going to event Arab-Israeli war, I might as well offer him Milops. So I'll use Formosa to get to make him take an inefficient coup on Sahara or Cameroon. He may just use blockade for that, and then space AR6. But I just like the fact that I'm imposing on Africa at least. Although I'll be hoping for an early scoring card drop. If the early drop is Asia, I'm knackered. Okay, so we're going to space socialist governments. And I may get another space off with Arab-Israeli. Because he now either has to blockade me, and if he does... Okay, no, he's taking the coup, which is sensible. So I will give him... Or will I? If I keep D-Style in my hand. Now I'll space D-Style, and hope he doesn't salt it. Get the Milops and get another one to boot. So he's holding 5-year plan in NORAD. He can at least ditch a scoring card. I did get Africa scoring, which is nice. So what can he do? I have ABM, so he can brush and I still dominate. And he can Portuguese Empire crumbles. So now's a good time to drop Africa scoring, I guess. But let's add the mid-war cards and work it out. I've got Africa, I've got Missile, I've got ABM, that's not a bad neutral deal. Puppet, Olympic, OAS, great moving around cards. And OPEC, which is spaceable. And Decol, which is absolutely spaceable. So, cards that affect Africa. South African unrest, Portuguese Empire crumbles, brush war. So let's headline Africa scoring and get domination out of the way. And he gets Southeast Asia scoring out of the way. So we'll call that mostly a wash. He's going to get a coup off. Panama's not an unreasonable one. Or Middle East, Libya or Egypt. Panama? Yeah. Pretty big. So I'm going to ABM immediately and offer him to walk into Nigeria. Now it's gone. Oh well. One of our coups was better than the other. So now we need to get into Mexico before... Liberation Theology. I may take the 2 VP OPEC. We'll see if he salts D-Style at any point. Obviously, OAS and Puppet will help with Central America. But a 2 VP OPEC is a reasonable compromise for getting some influence spread. Overprotecting Asia and moving around. That's fine. I don't mind a bit of a disjointed spread. We will puppet government into those bits, and he will immediately try and realign. I expect, because he can't afford to dawdle. Let's hope he fails, but I've got OAS. There it is. No, we're gonna shore up first. And we'll give him 2 VP. He may try again. We may only space decall this turn. He spaces VOA, very wise. And it fails, that's a bonus for me. So we're going to pop 2 in Mexico before Liberation Theology. So he's still holding NORAD and 5-year plan. I expect he'll be ditching a bad scoring card here. And we may event Arab-Israeli war once we finish taking Israel, because it's undefendable. Asia's a big problem, but the rest of the map is now looking a little rosier for now. I mean, it just takes a Muslim revolution to flip Middle East. Okay, so he's looking to break. He may be looking to get maximum value from Muslim Revolution. But we'll continue to pump Middle East. And we can hold OAS. So if he plays NORAD now, we'll be expecting that he 5-year plans away a scoring card. If he plays the other card, it does make him a potential missile envy target. Okay, so he gives us 2 VP with Nixon. He breaks Zaire. We're going to hold decol through So we'll use Missile MV. He's got NORAD and 5-year plan. Unless I've miscounted, which is entirely possible. We'll find out in a minute if I'm an idiot. And we'll hold OAS to cause trouble in Venezuela and Brazil, if needs be. Okay, so he's using NORAD, which is fine. Quagmire might come along. And he's holding 5-year plan. So he flips, and he flips a region which has already been scored. I can live with that. That's a bonus, because I can peek. So let's have a look at the next turn. I got Quagmire, which is good. Colonial Rearguards causes a lot of trouble, which is good. So let's see. Korean War, Cambridge 5, Suez, Quagmire, the red ones. Colonial Nuclear, Panama. Colonial Nuclear, Panama. Summit as a neutral. Those are my 9. Colonial Rearguards causes the most havoc. And being able to flip Thailand with the China card should alarm him. So I'm inclined to do that. The Korean War is very precarious. So he's headlining Cultural Revolution. That won't stop me. Will it? Yeah, nuclear sub still isn't very attractive. So I'll headline Colonial Rearguards. He gets the China card back. Southeast Asia scoring's gone, so we'll focus on Africa, even though that's also scored. Although I suppose putting one in Laos, Cambodia would have helped to swing Asia domination. Oh well. Too late now. I'll have to try and hold the Cambridge 5 for a while. But we can space Quagmire and Suez. He's you an interventioning something juicy. Duck and cover. Love that. So he's taking the coup. And he's going to get Argentina. Because I am very low on operations points. So he may take Nigeria back here. But we'll event Panama Canal returned. May take a gamble on Korean War, just because. Yeah, so he'll finish taking Argentina. Yeah. We'll event Panama Canal returned, and I hope he doesn't brush war. We're going to trigger the fact that we don't have a scoring card, thanks to Allende. If he now spears Peru, we can OAS 2 into Argentina to keep the pressure on. And then failing all that, we'll just take our half of South America. Less than ideal. But Suez and Quagmire are pretty unplayable thanks to Okay, so he goes that way, which is fine. Will we do that? Yeah. Well, if he gets off to space, we'll space Quagmire and hold Suez, or the other way around. Maybe space Suez and hold Quagmire, although missile envy is not a big risk. Oh, so he taps it. Interesting. Alright, we're going to have to use Korean War. Fingers crossed. Pray, pray, pray. Pray, pray, pray. Good. Also glad he used both of the Africa-dominant cards outside of South Africa, because he's not granted himself access. He goes off to space, and he gets there. We are going to get 1 Milops worth of cooing in, and fail, and he's got 5-year plan to ditch. Yeah, okay. We're going to space Quagmire. Oh, whoa, whoa, Suez. I'm going to hold Quagmire, because I may be able to hold all the way through turn 7, who knows. Another 3 VP, that's nice. So, Bear Trap to try and get South America scoring off is attractive. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Sadat, lads. Let's see if he Muslim revolutions me. Chain Quagmire. Indo-Pakistani War and Cuban Missile Crisis. Glad I got Indo-Pakistani War. But I think Bear Trap's the must-have headline. We'll headline Bear Trap and get the coup off. Although he'll be able to ditch kitchen debates to get out of the trap if he wants. But I'm looking for a nice healthy coup on Venezuela. Oh, no, I'll do a coup on Argentina and then NORAD Venezuela. Duh. Always forget about NORAD. Oh dear. I could have broken somewhere else. Oh, double dear. I don't want to play into another non-battleground just in case I have to trigger Che. So we'll overprotect Zaire against the flip. Or we will just use 1 fewer op for now and be efficient. We won't fart around. We'll drop South America. Well, I suppose I can get an extra 2 VP if I... Now let's event Che, give him the mill ops, but then get another 2 VP a different way. I know, because Saharan States is in play too. We are just not going to fart around. Nice to see Lone Gunman go into his own trap. There it goes. Now is a good time to start messing around with Asia in a bid to make him think I'm going to do something there. I expect him to flip Lao Cambodia straight back, but in the great scheme of things, I want to do a bit of damage. And he needs to immediately respond to that, because obviously Asia's a fairly big scoring target this turn or next. Well, yes, there's always that option. Okay, we're going to call his bluff. Oh. That makes me look like a genius too. We're going to space Che and make him work for his mill ops. Brilliant. Less brilliant, with Muslim Revolution still in the deck. We're going to put one more in Mexico just to make sure Liberation Theology isn't super useful. And we'll ditch Quagmire rather than keep it in the hand turn 7. So we do have to watch out for Asia scoring, which he has, but I managed to get Muslim Revolution, which could be worse. And John Paul's very attractive, and I can ditch Liberation Theology. So, Kitchen Debates, John Paul. He's got grain sales, because we haven't seen that go. And he's got Brush War and Yasuri. And One Small Step. And Asia Scoring and Junta. Right? And so, have I not been paying attention? No, I've got... Has he got Arms Race as well? Have we seen Arms Race go? I don't hold it. Yeah, I've not been paying attention to the cards, obviously. Because that's way too many cards in his hand. And not in mine. Ah, stuff it. Let's read the discards. And I got Formosa, NATO, U2. Flower Power. Alright, so he's juntering. That's problematic, but I guess it could be worse. He's also got Asia scoring, and there's not a lot I can do about that. So, with Warsaw Pact having to come out in late war, John Paul is the headline. To make sure that he's under pressure in Europe. And he will coup, obviously, to drop DEFCON. So he can shore up Poland. But then we have to threaten Asia scoring, I suppose. So I guess he has to decide, does he retake Poland, or do we start an ops war? He retakes Poland. What do we think? We need to overprotect Laos, Cambodia, and pop a couple into Taiwan. Okay, well, it'd be nice to see what we can ditch. Let's hope for some nasty cards. Lone Gunman? Yes. Oh boy. With no Camp David, they're all going. Arab Israeli, Summit, Lone, Socialist, and De Gaulle. We don't have any war cards, so we'll keep tapping. And maybe an evil empire will come to rescue us. Yeah, okay, so here comes the overprotect. Oh no, he taps. Very wise. So are we doing a trade? We may be doing a trade. Darn it. Alright, so we're going to go for glory here. We're going to Space Muslim Revolution, hope to hit, and then kitchen debates before he does something silly like tries to brush war on Pakistan. Let's see. Let's gamble. Gamble part 1 succeeded. If he tries brush war first and misses, I can use kitchen debates. But he doesn't, because he's not stupid. So we're going to use U2 incident to tap Uruguay and put one in Colombia to threaten our own spear on Venezuela. So I think he's got Usuri, brush, arms, grain, salt. But I've not been paying attention. So he'll go for Brazil here. Success is a bad thing. But it happened. So let's move on. Now, I'm going to use Comic-Con to take the coup to stop arms race being activated. I know that that's not ideal. Because it overprotects Poland. But at the moment, 3 VP is quite a lot. Because obviously, depending on how the scoring cards come out, war games is a genuine possibility. He'll want to coup back again as much as anything for arms race. but I can counter coup again. And then I'll just event kitchen debates for... I hope I've been counter cards properly now, because obviously I'm at the mercy of blockade. But I'm pretty damn sure, unless I'm a complete idiot, and has been known. So he has to space grain sales, which is a delight. He fails, which is also nice. So we will poke him in the chest. So he'll want to hold Yasuri. He might salt something. Muslim Rev, Saltable, De Gaulle, Thokgov, maybe even Junta again. But we shall see. He may want to salt coup and hope to arms race, but I will not let that happen with Formosa. No, he just gives up with arms race. Flip Zaire, but we'll go for a realign, starting with Nigeria, and then Zaire. So he's holding Yasuri and Salt. I can use We Will Bury You to lower Defcon if he does something silly in the headline. Okay. In which case, we're going to headline Central America scoring. Because VP are better than nothing. And he'll probably ditch UN intervention to make my life a bit harder. But obviously, it could be a lot worse. I'm not going to get Defcon suicided at least. UN, Che, Portuguese, Decol, Indo-Pakistani, Reagan, Ortega. Ortega's not a Defcon suicide risk yet anyway. And that's the 8. So, UN intervention, likeliest. Because then I have to event some nasty cards. Spacing We Will Bury You. It's got to be UN intervention, right? Yep. Standard. Weenie coup? Yep. Where am I going to do the most damage? Venezuela. We're going to use the China card, because we know he's got Yasuri. And we'll put the 4th op where? We have to hold on to Che for a long time. We're going to put it in Nigeria because we're going to have to event Decol. Well done. Ooh, sassy. We'll use Ortega. Get him out of the game. I can discard decol at least, as long as I event Che, but I'll be wanting to hold on to my hat if I do that. I may even want to event decol and repair rather than Che. So let's hope for some sympathetic scoring cards. If we see South America, Africa, Middle East go, the game might be up anyway. At the moment, I think we just know he's holding Usurian Salt, right? He's going for Iran. It fails. Whew. I might want to hold on to We Will Bury You a little bit longer. Let's try the 1 in 3 on India. Oh, I've got Flower Power. Mama. That's another card I might want to consider holding. At least for the time being. Let's realign Zaire. We're not going to get a better opportunity. Big money, no whammies, and stop. Oh, boo! I expect him to coup Cameroon now. He may be sizing up whether or not to salt Muslim Revolution. Especially if he's holding Middle Eastern scoring. Although, of course, that will trigger NORAD again. Woo! Don't like using the laptop. Okay. Interesting. So we're going to use Indo-Pakistani War for Ops now to take South Africa. Che is an extremely problematic card here. Portuguese Empire becomes neutral now that one's in Angola. And Decol obviously is... well, it does more damage than I can repair. But Che threatens me the loss of Venezuela, which is catastrophic. NORAD's not in power, so this doesn't do a lot. A NORAD, NATO. Okay, we're just going to event and repair Portuguese Empire crumbles. We're basically holding on to... we're holding on to We Will Bury for as long as possible in case he salts. Because then obviously I can take a coup and drop Defcon again and then use the NORAD point. If he doesn't salt, we space We Will Bury You. To avoid Defcon suicide. So if he does neither of those things this turn, I may need to event and repair decol as best I can. So I think he's holding Usurian Salt and one other card. Unless I've not been tracking properly, which is a distinct possibility. But with Aldrich gone, Lone Gunman gone, Ortega gone, it's now a case of get to final scoring and try and get this in the books. Today's January 31st. It's been a pretty torrid month. Apart from beating Mike Patnick, things have not been great. Okay, so he's taking ABM. So we will event, we will bury you, and then coup Zaire with it. And then he needs to do something interesting with ABM. Where do we want to... Oh yeah, Poland. No, Poland doesn't break there. We're going to protect Argentina. And remember, if he ABMs, I get another NORAD op at least. I've definitely milked NORAD like a cow this game, and it's helped. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we are going to use Che. So I can discard Decol. Maintain control of Africa even if he coups either side of Nigeria. And we're going to ditch Decol. So I expect him to coup Colombia. But I'm basically trading off. He can either do either side of Nigeria or Colombia, but not both. And then I can ditch Decol. I'm still in War Games reach as long as Europe doesn't drop. And apart from Europe, all the scoring cards are a nightmare. So now he's got to choose. Does he spear Algeria? No, he goes for Colombia. Both of them are a bit weak, which is good for me. We ditch Decol. We don't get any scoring cards. But we do get Solidarity. And Eastern European Unrest. So Iran Contra drops at the end of the turn. Marine Barracks bombing is almost repairable. OPEC's still only worth 2 VP. Urian Samantha at the end of the turn. Terrorism's less attractive, in case I pull a positive scoring card. So I'm thinking Solidarity is the powerful headline. Ouch. Do we go Olympic Games for 2 VP? No. Let's do Solidarity, because he still wants to get the coup off and cause trouble. Okay, so you got Quagmire back, but we've got plenty we can feed into its maw. Marine Barracks is the hardest to repair, because obviously Iran-Contra can go off AR7 and Yuri AR6, or hold. Here comes the coup, with no NORAD afterwards. So let's get rid of Marine Barracks. So he will now realign Venezuela, which he has to do post-haste. But he can't do that and repair Poland. So he has a decision to make. This is just going to be a ramp to final scoring, I suspect. Basically, if he repairs Poland, I coup Colombia, and then event East European unrest. If he realigns Venezuela, I pour 3 into Poland with OPEC, and then event East European unrest to try and control Poland, as long as Warsaw Pact doesn't come back out. But at least it gives him a focus, and he's already salted, so I'm disinclined to use terrorism just because he needs to be holding, like, well, he needs to be holding a lot of crap. So he goes to Poland. Wise. We will coup Colombia. We want to keep an eye on Africa, but we're in a position where we've got domination, and we could even try flipping for control if we get sassy. Despite Poland, I'm still going to event East European unrest if I can, just to try and keep the pressure up on Europe. But obviously we're hoping of the 4 scoring cards, 3/4 of them being ours, that he's got some of them. How many cards left? 33. They're getting quite yellow as well. He's got Glasnost, Iranian hostage crisis. Iranian hostage crisis is bad. Glasnost, the Reformer, Warsaw. He's still got blockade, which I forgot about. Okay, so we will use OPEC to take Algeria and give him 2 VP. That's 2 VP OPECs this game. I suspect he's mindful that Yasuri doesn't really do enough damage anywhere in Asia to give me the hump. So he may event Yasuri and do other stuff with it. And obviously if I event East European unrest, which I'm now going to have to do late in the turn because I'm running out of ops. So he spaces VOA. Man, he's not gone off to a strong start. Let's keep tapping Poland. Because why not? But now we're going to have to East European unrest AR7. So we'll use Yuri and Samantha to coup Zimbabwe AR6. Oh, Africa's gone. Brilliant. So we're going to put another 2 into Poland. And I'm glad I didn't terrorism. Oof, Middle East scoring. Ouch. So AR6, we'll use Yuri and Samantha to put a couple more in Poland. Warsaw Pact's going to be glorious. So if he blockades me, I use Iran Contra to take Poland. If he doesn't blockade me, I use Iran Contra to do something else, and then use Eastern European unrest next term. Ouch. So I don't need to do that. There. Certainly. And then overprotect the tappable regions, I suppose. Yeah, that's fine. I will not discard, because Eastern European unrest is quite useful. I did get Europe scoring. I also got Cal. But we may headline Eastern European unrest, unless he does Chernobyl, I suppose. Although the reformer's workable. Cal's nice just for the DEFCON and the 2VP. Even if he then pours stuff into Poland. Yeah. I think we have a plan for the end of the turn. Okay, so the reformer does do some damage. But we can ask not Europe scoring if we need to. So let's drop DEFCON and take the 2VP. We're now ditching all those to ask not. Yeah, so he's not going to be turning this boat around. Even if he gets Europe domination and Asia domination, he can't do enough in the other regions, especially with Muslim revolution in the discard pile. He stops to check. It is in the discard pile. So, yeah, we'll ask not away everything to the left of ask not. Keep Chernobyl and Eastern European unrest, although venting Chernobyl's not necessarily supremely brilliant. What do we think? It's a 1 in 3. Why not? Let's shoot the moon! Boo! Well, that was a waste of an action round, but it would have been sassy. Ah. We'll give him Chernobyl. Because we don't want to give him Iranian hostage crisis. And we'll keep a 3-op back to not be blockaded out of West Germany, because we don't want to lose to Europe control here. That would be appalling. Yes, so. No, we'll, choices. We'll keep the pressure up in France, but we're still going to ask not away Europe scoring. And we're at no risk, if we do it before AR6, of losing to a held scoring card, because South America's the last remaining one. That's a bonus. Ask not. Let's upset him. Bye-bye Iran. Bye-bye Willie. Bye-bye South Africa. Bye-bye Europe. Hello, a billion ops. So he'll finish taking France. We hold Pershing for blockade. He can have Europe domination. And although if I tap East Germany, as well as Poland, I could prevent domination in Europe to finish the game. Oh no, because he'll still be 2 up when he takes France. So we're trading Europe and Asia for South America, Central America, Africa, and the Middle East. Oh no. Event in Evil Empire and finish the game, yeah. Oh, I can't type tonight. So he gets a win! He finishes January in less parlous circumstances than he began. And I will see you next month for more games. Thanks for watching. Comment away. Ciao for now.